Hello once again, fans of F1. It is I, Ben Wevel, to share with you some of the biggest stories in the Formula 1 world this week. A happy new year to all who hear this, because I'm not sure if I will make another episode before January. And finally, a quick announcement that I would like to make. As well as the lovely Spreaker, you are now able to hear my podcast on many streaming services, including Spotify, Deezer, Podcast Addict, and Podchaser, with services such as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Amazon Music, Audible, and Google Podcasts, still pending my submission. So if you would like to share this podcast with your friends, let them know that they can listen to it on almost every streaming service under the sun. All the links to this are in the description. In case you're wondering, I'm not using the clapping as a transition because I'm a really egotistical person and I enjoy it. I just genuinely cannot find a better effect to fill the gap. Now for the part that everybody has been waiting for. The content. You don't want to listen to me waffle on about links and streaming services for half an hour. So this is some of the week's biggest news points. To be honest, this week in Formula 1 has mainly been top 10 year-end lists, so I've had to dig a bit for this one. On the 22nd of December, Lewis Hamilton shared his concerns on the stability of Mercedes' position of top dog in the group, stating that the Red Bull team may be trickier to crush than previous years, not a quote by the way. I've seen the Mercedes cars dominate the field for such a long time that it will be a nice change to see Red Bull Garage step up their game and come ever closer to their first World Championship in 8 years, breaking a formidable era of Mercedes power. However, Lewis has a knack for winning almost boringly early, unless his teammate has decided to drink from the poisoned chalice of trying to beat him consistently. In all my heart, I want Max Verstappen or Sergio Perez to take up the mantle of world champion and possibly regain some of the insane momentum that we knew and loved for Red Bull from the early 2010s. But in my head, I'm confident that Lewis will continue to win until the day he retires, and there may never be anything that anybody can do about it. I also know that Lewis is probably only coming up with this to excuse for one of the most lifeless F1 races of all time in Abu Dhabi. And as my fellow podcaster and unintroduced friend of the show, Alex Jakes, says,
please redesign that racetrack.
In other news, can we please give some love to my man, Pierre Gasly? I would say that after Brendan Hartley, Alexander Albon, and Daniel Kvyat... Oh wait. Stop the music. Red Bull literally ruined everyone's career. But that's a story for another day! Well, apart from the aforementioned characters, I believe that Pierre has had arguably one of the most dismal careers in F1 so far. Like birds to a loaf of bread, these Red Bull Academy drivers come, and Pierre has been another who has stepped a little too close to the soft flavours of past glories and occasional points finishes, and like so many, has paid no attention to the unkind pieces of crusty outperformance and reliability issues. However, he is today a changed man, a win under his belt, and a position in Formula 1 for another year. He explained how surprised he was at the success of 2020, saying, "I thought the season would be a lot more difficult than it has been." This shows Gasly's maturity and acceptance after his horrendous season at Red Bull. I say horrendous only in comparison to Max, by the way. That he would now have to fight harder for a Formula 1 seat than he ever had before. And that it was a big ask to squeeze the most out of a firmly lower midfield AlphaTauri. But the question for 2022 is, will he go back to Red Bull? There are many variables to this question, as it depends on if Perez has a good season and forms a duo with Max. It depends on if Max remains in the team for 2022 or sets its sights on a higher branch, say, Mercedes. And finally, it depends on if Gasly wishes to move or not. At AlphaTauri, he is the perfect driver. He is reliable to pick up a few points finishes here and there, and performs superbly when the chance is given to him. Like many drivers that have raced beside Max, They're not the type to be dominated, because they feel less motivated to achieve when they know someone will always do better. If I were Pierre, I would stick at AlphaTauri for a while and just enjoy racing, rather than feeling pressured to pick up a podium on every race. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of F1 Weekly. Make sure to stream my podcast any way you wish, and follow my Instagram at F1Weekly_. That's at F1Weekly_. And remember, everything is lowercase. I'll see you guys in the new year, and make sure to have a great day.